Hello guys. In this video we will talk about the 2013 movie, Journey to the West. In a small fishing village, a girl sings a song and plays near the water. Dad jokingly warns his daughter that you shouldn't play on the edge, otherwise she will be dragged away by a huge lobster. The girl is not afraid of lobsters, and then Dad invented a demon, but the daughter did not believe in them. Then the man asked to take a closer look and imperceptibly plunged into the water to scare the child. An unsuccessful joke scared the daughter to tears, and Dad is trying to make her laugh by performing funny tricks in the water. The girl began to laugh, but suddenly something grabbed the man and dragged him into the water. In a moment, the girl's father with a cry got out of the water and something unknown pulled the frightened man in different directions. At some point, there was nothing left of Dad but a red spot along the middle of the stream. The daughter was completely sure that Dad was doing tricks, but her mother EM's tears and the sympathy of passers-by spoke for themselves. The villagers turned to the hunter for help, who easily dealt with the underwater inhabitant using a powerful bomb. People are very grateful to the hunter, but suddenly an informed monk enters the crowd, who reports that the demon named by the hunter is a simple stingray, albeit of a huge size. The feat of the hunter is not such, for which he tries to arouse pity and reminds the monk of a family that recently lost a relative because of the demon he caught. The monk continues to convince the people that being in the water is still unsafe, to which he is simply tied and left above the water while the rest of the citizens rejoice in victory. Soon the guy notices something approaching and loudly warns the residents about the danger. No one paid attention until the singing woman was devoured by a terrible monster. The crowd hurriedly got out of the water, while a frightened hunter urges the inhabitants to stay on the shore, as it is safe here. Suddenly, the monster grabs the man and drags him into the water. Panic broke out in the village, and a self-proclaimed hunter tries to escape along with the money he received for catching a stingray. A man tries to stop him, who is grabbed and dragged away by a monster. The suspended monk calls on people to pretend to be dead so that the creature does not touch them. Most listen to the guy. A frightened girl runs to her mother, who begged her daughter to stop, but a monster gets to the poor little girl, despite all the attempts of people to save her. In desperation, the mother grabs a spear with which she jumps into the water to fight the monster and save her child, but the monster instantly kills her by touching the support with his tail, which causes the baby in the basket to start rolling into the water. He is saved by a monk who is able to cling to the nose of a nearby hunter, but he himself falls into the water, from where he safely gets out. The child is still in danger, and the brave guy climbs up to him. The demon destroys the support, causing the monk and the child to fall onto the platform. The savior uses the monster's weight to jump up and reach the baby's mother. The monk understands that it is only possible to kill the demon on land and pushes the hunter onto the platform in order to outweigh and throw the monster onto land. The weight of two men was not enough, and then the inhabitants of the village came to the rescue, who, unfortunately, fail. Then a large woman helped them, who alone was able to outweigh the fish and send it straight to the shore. Suddenly, the monster turned into a simple person. The residents are furious, but the monk admits that he is a real demon hunter and asks to be given the opportunity to figure everything out. Next, the guy takes out instruments and a book with children's songs. The monk begins to sing to rid the stranger of evil, but when he hears a mediocre performance, he begins to beat him. The guy is helped by an unfamiliar girl who herself beats the demon and turns it into a small doll. The stranger's name is Xuan and she is also a hunter. Soon the villagers began to greet her. Frustrated by his failure, the young man returns to his teacher. The guy doubts his methods, because he believes that children's songs are not enough in the fight against evil spirits and it is necessary to use force, as the girl did. But the teacher makes it clear that songs awaken goodness in demons and force evil to leave the body. Next, the teacher talks about a new demon who owns a posh restaurant and hides behind a human mask. At night, the monk visits a place where a nice girl gives a short tour. The guy sees a lot of people around, but when he concentrates, he realizes that there are a lot of corpses in the room. The girl introduces the young man to the main dish and demonstrates roasted pigs. The monk, in turn, resists the illusions and notices many human bodies. He confesses that he is a hunter and hits the girl several times. Before receiving an answer, Xuan intervenes, who copes with the demon. After death, the creature turned into sand. The girl then destroys the remaining horde of creatures without any problems, skillfully using a magic ring. Soon, a demon comes out to Xuan in the guise of a cook. He is the culprit of all this mess. The lady could not cope with him as easily as with the others and asks the monk for help. By that time, the monster looked like a disgusting pig. Xuan asks to suck out the soul of the demon, which is located in the throat area. The boy with great reluctance helps the hunter, since it is necessary to suck out the soul with his mouth. The creature ends up in the guy, and the girl sucks out the soul to put it in her sack. Even this could not finally stop the enemy, as he turned into a huge boar and escaped from the bag. Xuan and the monk are forced to flee the restaurant, which soon collapses completely. The couple stops by the water where the huntress informs the guide that the demon will not run after them as he is seriously injured. The huntress heals the wounds, and the monk tells the girl his name. The young man also thanks Xuan for saving her, to which she closes her eyes and wants the boy to kiss her. The monk did not do this and simply ran away. The next day, the guide tells the teacher that he could not defeat such a strong demon. The mentor encourages the student to go to the Monkey King, who will help the young man acquire new skills. The path promises to be not easy, but the teacher described the route in detail. Before leaving, the mentor warns that the king is very angry, and in order to convince him to help, it is necessary to use the accumulated knowledge in children's songs. The monk was moving through the forest at night and suddenly falls into a trap, and soon notices a group of people who were holding Xuan and several other people captive. The stranger says that they came from the west and kill the demon hunters, as well as the demons themselves. The girl asks the captive if he is a hunter and, after a negative answer, kills him. Immediately afterwards, she approaches the monk and asks the same question. The frightened guy could not answer, and at the last second, Xuan stood up for the young man, who said that he was her husband and a simple music teacher. As proof, the guy presents a book with children's songs. The stranger asks to prove to the couple that they are engaged at gunpoint. At the same moment, the monk realizes that Xuan set up this performance so that the huntress could sleep with him. The girl touched his shoulders. Prior to this, the lady's hands were pierced with a large nail, due to which she could not resist. The young man simply peeled off the glued parts, and then Xuan became angry with her assistance, blaming her for the failure of the plan. The monk apologizes for the inconvenience caused to him and confesses that he lives for the sake of great love. After that, the girl orders her people to leave the monk in the cage, and then she talks with her friend. Xuan admires the monk's desire to defeat evil not for the sake of money and fame. These qualities are appreciated by the hunter and therefore considers the young man a suitable couple. The friends make a ridiculous attempt to seduce the hunter, but soon a furry creature with red eyes moves towards the camp. The group gets into a mechanical wagon and tries to get away from the demon. Xuan pushes the monk out of the transport, saving his life as a direct collision with a huge boar is inevitable. The guy watches in horror as the wagon is completely destroyed and runs to help. In the remains of the transport, he manages to find the unconscious body of Xuan. The whole group remained alive, but soon a wild boar began to approach them. Suddenly, the boar is attacked by a stranger who wields the power of various animals. The demon rushed to the run and an old man approaches the stranger, whose one leg was smaller than the other. Both understand that whoever subdues the boar demon first will become the best hunter. They decide to fight one-on-one, but soon another hunter arrives, accompanied by women. The warrior claims that he is the only one who is able to defeat the boar. The trinity begins to measure strength, until a monk intervenes in the conversation. He reminds them that right now the demon is walking free and everyone should unite to win the battle. The hunters did not take the young man seriously and he was about to leave, but before that, Xuan praised the monk for his position. The guy is angry with the girl, because she interferes with him and asks to return the book with songs. Xuan tears it up and the scolded hunters disperse in different directions. The monk makes the difficult journey alone and finally reaches the temple, where he finds a new path to the Monkey King. He leads the young man to a cave where an old man suddenly jumps out. The monk asks for help in finding the king, and the stranger confesses that he is the Monkey King. The man was behaving strangely, as he had not spoken to people for over 500 years. The man ended up in the cave because of a disagreement with the Buddha. Throughout the time, the old man studied sacred literature, due to which the demon that once lived in him disappeared. The young man gets down to business and asks to show him how to defeat the boar demon. The old man tells that once the demon had a lover who loved to dance under the moon. It is necessary to find a nice girl who can dance and attract the attention of the boar, in which case he will reveal his essence, and the king will take care of him. Suddenly, Xuan, who has been following the monk all the time, enters the cave. She offers her help and become that very sweet girl. At night, Xuan starts dancing and soon a demon comes. The king calls the boar and he squeezes his head through the gap. The old man sucks it in, after which the monster turned into a small pig and Xuan makes a toy out of it. The girl understands that the monk is against the murder and gives the demons she caught to the guy. Next, the lady in love invites the monk to marry her, but he refuses, and the frustrated huntress gives the restored book with children's songs to the young man, and he also refuses this, as a result of which Xuan leaves. The monk is also about to leave, but before that, The king asks to pluck the lotus, which blocked the view from the cave. The young man helps with this, but the torn flower suddenly began to burn. All the plants surrounding the entrance to the cave also caught fire. Without suspecting it, the monk frees the old man, who still had a demon in him. The guy began to pray while the demon demanded that he stop, tearing off tufts of hair on his head. The demon was about to kill the monk until other hunters came to his aid. The hunter who wields the power of animals was the first to attack the monkey, but he fails to win the fight. The next was an old man with a powerful leg, which the demon easily pierced with his body, depriving the warrior of the main weapon. The third was close to victory thanks to his magical swords, which the warrior could control from a distance. The demon deftly dodged them and then the hunter used all his power to pierce the body of the monkey, but this decision also turned out to be unsuccessful. In the end, the demon mercilessly burns the hunters and returns to the monk. Xuan stood up for the guy. Despite the requests of the monk to run away, the girl continued to fight, but the demon hits hard and pushes the lady towards the young man. He approaches her and admits that he fell in love with her as soon as he saw her, but they were not destined to be together since Xuan died in his arms. The hunter removes the ring from her and finds the book, after which the demon tosses the body and makes it disappear. The monk opens the book where he finds the ancient texts of the Buddha and begins to read them. The demon understands everything and attacks the young man, but the barrier around the hunter did not allow him to be harmed. Soon, a giant Buddha towered over the planet, which with great speed directed its hand directly at the demon. The monkey took on its true form to resist the giant statue's power. Suddenly, the king finds himself in a heavenly place, where a monk gives a ring to a man freed from a demon. Further, the mentor sends the monk to India for new knowledge. The young man will be accompanied by his disciples, whom he freed from demons. The group passes through the hot desert and this is where the film ends. For today, all the guys. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a new video. Thank you for watching.